Welcome back, everybody, to the Board YouTube channel for your Tuesday pick and roll live stream here for the March 11th NBA slate. And it's going to be a 4-game slate for us to go through today. We're going to go through all 4 of the games. We'll hear any free picks that Pips has along the way. And to make sure, if you've been tailing and you've been watching the shows, enjoying the shows, that you hit that like button. It's been a winning season so far. It was another winning day yesterday. Make sure as well you are subscribed to the channel for shows like this every weekday morning. And discussing that winning day yesterday, we had 4 official picks in play, 3 of which actually transpired because one of which voided because Trae Young did not feature. But like I said, it was a winning day on the show. We had Luka Doncic over assists, which he covers easily. We have the Klay Thompson, Max Christie, SGP, which we got just sensational closing line value on. Thankfully, as well, it did come through and win. Unfortunately, the loser was on Alperen Şengün over 20.5 points. Only ends with 14, so didn't give us much of a sweat there. But hey, 2-in-1 day, a winning day. We will take it and we will move. Pips, any comment from you on the CLV from that Dallas bet or the Şengün one that doesn't quite go?
Yeah, so first off, like Luka, such a easy win. Don't know why they had this number. Looking at his assist rate without LeBron, crazy line. We also actually got negative CLV on Luka one. I don't know what was the thing with that, honestly. Second one, Şengün started really good. Like first 8 minutes, 5 post-ups for Şengün. He scored four times. Then they started playing double big lineups. He was playing with Steven Adams, and Şengün was in the dunker spot or in the corner, standing in the corner. I don't know. I should probably I have an idea of how they should use Şengün, and it's like wishful thinking most of the time. And they didn't post up at all after first quarter. He was the one keeping them afloat. He scored 4 post ups, 4 easy baskets, and they never went back to it. For the entire game, they didn't once go to his post up. They tried 3 times and had turnovers because of sloppy passes. So I think my read on how Şengün scores in this game was actually good. But then playing double big lineups and then putting Şengün in dunker spot or stashed in the corner was absolutely insane way to play Şengün. So yeah, I've got a poor read on how Udoka will use him. So that's on me. Yeah. The thing about closing line value on the last bet is they probably just figure out no one else.
Who else is gonna score, man?
Yeah. Klay ended up with 26. Christie ended up with 12, and he shot 3 from 14. I don't know, 4 from 15. Something horrible. He can make buckets, and it's crazy. I remember him in the Lakers days, and he looked absolutely horrible on offense. Then he came to the Dallas, had some 5 to 6 games in a row where he couldn't miss, looked like an unbelievable player. And now he's back to being a stinker on offense, which makes more sense. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There definitely needs minutes and could use this time of the year to try create some shots, and because he is struggling.
By the way, hey, somebody in the chat mentioned yesterday Orlando Robinson double. He actually got it yesterday.
With offensive rebounds, yeah.
Yeah, the Wizards
more offensive.
The Wizards had maybe the worst rebounding game I've ever seen, and the Raptors crushed their franchise records for rebounds in a game. It helps when both teams miss everything all game, but man, the amount of offensive rebounds was hilarious. Anyways, let's get to the show. Let's get to the first game. Big spread in the Wizards and Pistons game. It's a 15-point spread. However, Pips, you've got something you like on this one.
Yeah. It's on the trail of what you just said. And it's
That's true. Yeah, it is.
Over 25.5 points and rebounds. Man, if this is not some quick blowout, we could see 20 and 15 or 15 and 15 game type of from Jalen Duren here. I just don't see how he doesn't kill them on the glass in this one. Absolutely insane. So yeah, love this. I actually think with Chris Middleton and Poole and Smart and like this could be a game. Like I loved Pistons as a team, but I don't think they should ever be like 17.5 like favorites. Or what's the line for this game? What's the spread?
15 and a half, 14 and a half, depending where you go.
So I get it. They have been winning games, but
Sorry, it's 14 and a half pretty much everywhere now. So, FanDuel has it 15. So if you like the Wizards,
yeah,
consider that.
I think that's yeah. But I think that there is a way for this game to stay under 20 for the entire game, and I think that's the most likely scenario. And even if they are up 20, as I said, teams when they are up a lot are more tend to play the guys than when they are down a lot. Because like okay, if things are not going well, coach gets frustrated because they are losing and then pulls out players. Rather on the other side, when they are up 20 and they're playing great and he's really happy with the team, how they are playing, he's more he's less inclined to pull them out. So I
Mhm.
think even when you win by 20 and when you lose by 20, the expected minutes are higher on the winning one. So yeah, I like this one. If he gets the minutes, he should crash. On the screen, what do we see? We see only filter for minutes. Jalen Duran when playing 27 to 33 minutes because I expect him to play 30. He is on rotation to play 30. So I just put 27 to 33. This is last 16 games. N- Not a single other filter. Like only for minutes. He's been rolling lately over in 14 out of 16 games, averaging 28.9 points and rebounds. And now gets the best possible matchup for both of these categories. Uh, if you look points and rebounds allowed to opposing centers, Wizards are ranked dead last. They allow the most points and rebounds to opposing bigs out of all the 30 teams in the league. They allow overall the most rebounds in the entire league, and they allow a ton of points like at the rim, to pick and roll man, to post ups, to putbacks, to transition, everywhere. Similar players obviously going over, even though this is against closing line values. So they are covering this against closing line values. So which is insane. So this part of like similar players, we changed it like a couple of months ago to be against closing lines because it doesn't make any sense against opening because the openers are usually weak. And then people bet like Mark Williams had 18 and a half line against the Wizards, but for some other games he had 15 and a half. So they average 11 more points against their closing lines, and this will close probably 27 points and rebounds. Yeah, I think this is a even if you take a look, let's increase to 26 and a half. Doesn't change, but 27 and a half still covered in 12 out of 16. Only when you get to like 28 and a half, then it's a 50-50. So yeah, I think this line should be like he covered this line against Portland Trail Blazers, Golden State Warriors, Nets, who allowed the least points to pick roll men, Clippers, the best pick and roll and dream defense probably in the entire league, Dallas, Cleveland Cavaliers, Houston Rockets. Like he was clearing this out in difficult matchups and now gets the best one.
All right, so very strong handicap there for Jalen Duran over 25 and a half points plus rebounds. Minus 106 on FanDuel was the best price. We're going to play it there. And there's others at minus 110 if you want to play this. So widely available, this one at 25 and a half. But we're playing it with our presenting sponsor, the FanDuel Sportsbook. And reminder, when the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning at America's #1 sportsbook because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/board to join today. That's FanDuel.com/board. for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA, but must be 21 plus and present in select states where Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We'll go to the next game on the board here, and it is another big spread in this one. The Brooklyn Nets, who played yesterday and beat the Los Angeles Lakers, are now traveling to Cleveland as 18.5-point underdogs. Wow, big spread. We did have a bet in the last game with the big spread, but any insight from you into this game here?
Yeah, don't have a single one. The slate is actually 4 games, okay, but it's very ugly. So yeah, I don't know what's the thing with the NBA. Like they have these days with 12 games last night, and now have 4 games, and 2 are like huge mismatches.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, but
last week was good. It felt like every day had like
6
6
to
to
9.
10 games.
Yeah,
So nothing was overloaded and nothing was underloaded, I guess. They had like a good amount of games every day.
yeah.
Not today. 4 games for us today. We can move to the next game. We have the Milwaukee Bucks reigniting the little bit of a rivalry with the Indiana Pacers here. Pacers are plus 3.5 at home for this one. I believe Tyrese Halliburton is going to miss a little bit of time. He's missed the last 4 games. Missed yesterday's game. I'm not sure he's supposed to return for this one. And the spread was
Questionable.
is questionable. Okay,
Yeah,
so
left hip flexor strain, which is I don't know what kind of injury is that shit.
you don't know
He,
what a hip flexor is?
he, I know what is like,
Oh,
but
okay.
hip strain, hip flexor strain. So I don't know I don't know what does that to do to him. Like if he is healthy, like if he's good to play, is he like 100%? Like we know that hamstrings, like you get a green light for hamstrings, and then you still like have like couple of months of impacting your play. We've seen
Right.
that from like, a ton of players. So I don't know what's the deal with this one. Uh, I will say he look when he played. We actually felt that one when we had the under on him, but he looked really good. Like last couple of games, Halliburton cooked. When you look at the like his numbers from in 2025, which is 25 games, he's shooting 45% from three. Like he's literally shooting 52, 45, 90.
Wow. So he's getting himself back up.
Yeah, and the threes he's shooting are insanely difficult shots. Those crazy pull-up threes he was doing early last season. So he looks great. He looks awesome. So I don't know what's the new injury. This is not the hamstring one. This is not something new. So I don't know. He had back issues, hamstring issues. Now like flexor strain, the left hip flexor strain, which is a complete new one. So I don't know. I don't know what the thing, but yeah, if he was healthy, I will bet Halliburton over in this game. But in this way, I won't have anything.
Okay. Fair enough. Last game up, Clippers, Pelicans. We have the Clippers favored by 7.5. Pelicans, yeah, it's never clicked for them this season. Who knows where they're headed, but another tough night for them here, potentially on the cards.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this one looks a bit high for James Harden. Like didn't perform that well against teams who are doing great against pick and roll ball handler. We can see on the entire season when he's who are not bottom of the league in pick and roll pick and roll ball handler defense, he's like under in 83% of the games. Like he is not covering this line. Though I would say this team is horrible on defense whatsoever. So it's tough to bet an under against Pelicans, but 25.5 does seem a bit of a reach. But when you look at the games without Norman Powell and with Kawhi, still under in all three, 25 against the Raptors, 18 against the Lakers, and 21 against the Suns. But looking at the usage, it's kind of crazy. He had insane usage. So I don't know. I will stay away. Like he had 31, 31, and 23. If you take a look at the season when he has that's 27% or higher, like he's averaging 24.5, 25 points a game. So yeah, I would say this is the best way to stay away. On the side of the Pelicans, I don't know. Maybe I'll lean on CJ McCollum just because these last couple of games were blowouts. When you look at the games when he plays 30 plus minutes, he's actually doing really well against this line on the season, over in like 70% of the games. But you definitely need to look at the games with Zion. Then it makes more sense that the line is there. But then you look at head to head, and he played one game against the Clippers and scored 33 points. No Zion, no Ingram, but DeJounte Murray was playing in that game. He still ended up scoring 33 points. So yeah, I do think out of all the players on the Clippers, he should be actually in a best spot to cover. And that's it for today's slate. Guys, ask questions. Could be bet wise, could be more general bet questions. Happy to
Yeah,
respond.
somebody already asked about ZJ McCollum 4+ threes and 20+ points at plus 300. I guess you would kind of lean in that direction.
For that price, I would say there probably is some value. Uh, Actually, his assists, his threes are set at 2.5, which is kind of crazy because he is constantly killing this line entire season, over in 67% of the games. When you look at the games with Zion, doesn't change much. Still over in 9 out of 15. Uh, Last time he played Clippers, he scored 8 threes. So yeah, I would say laddering and betting overs on his threes makes a ton of sense here. Uh, yeah, I would say that's it. Even
Okay.
though the matchup isn't great, but Zion changes matchups. Like if they try to stop Zion, then of course this looks way better opening stuff.
So good friend Chillionaire has a couple money line bets. First of all, Nets money line plus 1,000 and Nets plus Wizards money line parlay uh, at plus 8,150.
Yeah, we
Um,
know you are not trolling. It's
and
for
you
a reason.
see any value there, Pips?
Nets are weird because they can surprise anyone because they have such a great coaching, but they are on back to back away at the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they should absolutely get destroyed.
Do you think there will be any positive or I'll say negative Cavs injury news today? Do you think they could sit some players today?
Are they playing tomorrow?
I'll double check. They are
Actually,
not.
yeah. So
They are
tomorrow is
not playing on Thursday either.
yeah. So they won't rest anyone probably.
Okay. So they say if you get positive injury news, you could get like good close on that. I'm not sure. I think for the Wizards, I see it more than the Nets because
Yeah.
Nets had a tough game yesterday, but they can always surprise. Next couple from the Pistons game, couple for Osar Thompson. Johnny C asked about over 7.5 rebounds plus assists at minus 115. Whereas that Persian guy asked about just the assists over 2.5 at plus 125.
I don't think 7.5s are out there because I bet it before the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked amazing actually, like 20 plus minutes, last how many games, excluding the most difficult matchup. We can look at and see that He covered this in 13 out of the last 15, averaging 9.5, and only when he gets just 20 plus minutes. And I could see him tonight playing 25, 26, up to 28 minutes, which is only good. Like he averaged 9.4 on 24 and a half minutes average. He should play more minutes and against the best matchup in the league. So should be down to an amazing game.
Yeah. The 7.5 has moved, which maybe it wasn't when that was sent in. But what about just the assist? Sorry.
Assist one. Yeah, I do think the Wizards are like good assist matchup and absolutely amazing rebounding matchup. So I do like maybe rebounds a bit more. Assist one, he's kind of in February starting dishing out, and yeah, last 3 games no assist for him, but he did had 6 assists, 6 potential assists in the last game. In huge foul trouble against Golden State, against Clippers. He only had 1 assist on 5 potential. So if he's constantly getting 5 to like 7 potential assists, so plus money at 2.5 against horrible defense makes a ton of sense.
Staying with the same game here, because we have another question on it. Shabdul ask about Tobias Harris over 14.5 points at minus 122.
Yeah, like he is being absolutely killing it for the last how many games? It's now since 30th of January.
Wow.
And he averaged 18.4, and he scored some big numbers against Clippers, against Boston, covered barely by against Golden State, but 20 points against Portland, who's recently playing well on defense, and then a bunch of easy matchups like Spurs, Bulls, Hornets, Sixers, Hawks, Bulls again, Pacers. So mostly covering in easy matchups, which is like one today. So there is that. But yeah, if you think this game should stay close, I think even points, rebounds, and assists at 23.5 should be a good way to approach this. But yeah, points as well alone. I mean, this is a not usually betting on the win rate, but sometimes when you have a great win rate, great minutes, and a great matchup, it actually makes sense.
Okay, so a strong lean there on Tobias Harris. A couple more player props here. Jelko asked about Bogdanovich over 9.5. Actually, I don't know what 9.5 points, I guess, at minus 111.
Yeah, it is points. I do like it. His usage, I'll show you. Just to open it up while looking at something else. Like his usage is up and down. Minutes in usage. Like last, I will just say, go to the last. I don't know, like 10, 8 games post All-Star break numbers. So look, he covering this in a ton of games, but the minutes are up and down, and the usage is up and down. Last game against the Kings, he played 23 minutes and shot 5 times in the entire game. Against the Knicks, 9 times, which is more than enough to cover this line. Pistons, no power, no Leonard, 16 field goal attempts. Suns, then 7. So 7, 16, 9, 5, all over the place. Lakers 16. Yeah, overall, I do think this is should be a good spot for him. Pelicans are horrible on defense. They will send doubles to Harden and Kawhi. They allow a ton of spot up and transition, which is the way he scores above the break threes, with the way he scores. So overall, kind of this should be not 10.5, and it's trending that way in the most markets. And the best matchup possible. Yeah, I do like the over on 9.5.
George asked about Donovan Mitchell over 21.5 points at minus 114.
I will stay away from that. I do think matchup is difficult one, and plus it's a blowout chance. So there is a reason why it's a 21.5.
Okay, couple questions here in general betting. Steven asks about what is your limit on, so like basically your approach to betting on players that I would say, and I think they say correlate here, but I think it's anti-correlation, or I'm not quite sure. But anyways, betting on the same game when there are a lot of people releasing plays in the same game, it's
I
hard
think
to know when to stop and choose.
I think the most important part is betting overs. So like you have like, let's say some, they are telling some guys, and every single starter is bet over. So you don't want to have like 5-6 units on overs on all the same team. And when the blowout happens or some shit, you lose so much money and you get overexposed by one game. So I would say if I'm betting so many overs on one game, I will scale that down. But like if you are betting standard 1 unit, scale down to 0.075, maybe even 0.05 unit. The value is value, I will say, of course. But especially if it's in like some spread area like 8.5, 10.5 spread where there is a like strong chance of a blowout, you don't want to be holding 6 overs in the same game when there is a huge blowout chance. So I will definitely scale down a bit in those scenarios. I usually don't. I actually prefer, if I have so many reads on one game, I will probably bet straight my two best ones, and then figure out some same game parlay correlated to avoid being overexposed on those games.
Yeah. So, well, so Steven's asking. So Steven's probably following a few people that they like to tail, and they just want to like when to stop. So for me, I bet I'm mostly able to quantify my edge on a game. If there's like a bunch that I have an edge on, I'll just take maybe the two that I have the biggest edge on and play those and not play the other ones. Yeah, because you don't want the game to go in one direction and ruin all of the bets involved. So, if players are on different teams, I don't really mind that much from playing on players with different teams. Maybe I'll go like 3, maybe 4 bets on a game. I've got a lot of stuff that's great in a game. But like, yeah, like what if it's a really slow paced game and both teams don't crack 100? Now, does that ruin all 4 bets? So, yeah, I'd say try to find the two you like the most, and definitely don't overexpose yourself there. Last
Yep.
question we have from Taj. Ask about when using prop madness to find plays. Do you go into each game with a player that you want to target in mind, or do you look through the numbers for each player at every game to find a play? What's your approach on
Uh,
the app Pips?
Yeah, when you're using props madness for some time, you kind of get okay, like you kind of know before going through the games, like what's the weakness for one team, or what's their strength on defense. Like for example, I'll just open up here. Like it's easy for example for Wizards, like they suck at everything. Oh, that's not some. But if let's for example go to the Brooklyn Nets. So uh, I know for a fact that they are the best pick and roll ball handler defense, and I know like they are great pick and roll ball handler defense, and they are great above the break three defense, but they allow a ton of transition, ton of spot up, a ton of corners. So if I'm looking at the games when Nets are playing, if I'm looking for an under, I'll go to the Donovan Mitchell, for example, who is scoring most as a pick and roll ball handler and the most points above the break three. For example, this line doesn't have any value to bet an under, but if it was higher, I will probably decide to do it. And that's on the over part, and that's for the under part. But for the overs, like Sam Merrill, let's say he scores most of his points in transition and spot up, and a lot of from corners. This is a good matchup for him overall. And similar players kind of confirm that stuff. So looking at this game, I will go like looking for some spot up shooters over, and looking for some pick and roll dominant guys under. That's the approach. Like using for a couple of days, you kind of get used to the okay, this team is good at this and poor at that. Similar stuff with Pelicans. They are absolutely horrible against everything besides pick and roll ball handlers. So if you want to target someone dominant pick and roll ball handler under, makes sense. And then they allow so many spot up transition. So like you would look for a guys like James Harden maybe under, and then guys like Derek Jones, who scores most of his points in a spot up transition, as an over probably. So you kind of okay. This is like looking like a fantastic matchup. Like he scores 52% of his points. Other team they allow 29, so second most. He scores 60% of his points in spot up and transition. They are ranked second worst and fourth worst in those areas. So like you kind of get used to it, like the profile of every team with the time, and then you know what to target, which is the player you are going to look at.
So, yeah, so good insight towards the prop madness tool there. I was just looking because Indiana's line has been put down to +2, and I'm trying to figure out why it has moved so dramatically in the last 20 minutes. There must be some positive Halliburton news or something on that.
Probably, yeah. But I don't see it as an official bet.
Yeah.
As an
So
official news.
somebody somewhere knows something. And I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to end up playing today, but the line's seemingly adjusting here. Okay. Well, that's all the questions for today. Shorter show because there's only 4 games. But that's okay. We still do have a pick, and hopefully you did learn something along the way and got some good value out of the show. If you did, hit the like button, support the channel. Please also make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Maybe leave a comment down below what you're betting for today or any other questions that you may have, which we can check after the fact. But here is the one play that we have for today. It is Jalen Duren over 25.5 points plus rebounds. We played at -106 at FanDuel and hoping to make it a 1-0 day, another winning day, and hopefully recapping a winning day tomorrow when we're back on the Pick and Roll live stream. Again, live every weekday morning at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time for the show presented by FanDuel. We'll see you next time.